City, California. You're listening to The Second Column with Joe, Mike, Carlos, and Sean.
Hello and welcome to the Virgin broadcast of The Second Column, a podcast dedicated to my column at joedonatelli.com. I'm joined here by three of my best friends in the world. All these guys really make me laugh. Why don't you guys go around and introduce yourselves?
I'm Mike Costantini.
I'm Carlos Jaime.
I'm Sean Kearney.
And a little backstory for you guys. Mike is my partner in Hero Style, which is a comedy group. He's also the executive producer of the show and the engineer as well. Carlos is also in Hero Style. He's our bartender.
Yes.
He serves us drinks on stage while we perform music and sketches. And Carlos has also been in a few sketches.
Yes.
Yeah, he's done a good
I
job.
made you drunk one time.
He's a comedy savant.
He is. Not one day of training.
No.
All natural.
Carlos is comedy.
Exactly. And then we have Sean Kearney, who is in an improv group with Mike and I called Pangea, which you can see around Los Angeles.
I also won a drinking competition at a Hero Style show.
Yes, you did.
Sean beat me, yes. And
Yes.
I'm a regular drinker
Yeah,
myself, so
that's
that's
right.
right. But we do call Sean Irish Sean Kearney
Irish
sometimes.
Sean
true.
Kearney. Yes.
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 Because I am Irish.
It was, thank God.
But the
Yeah.
funny thing is, like, Sean doesn't drink that much.
No.
You know,
He
yet
should.
I save it up.
He save it up for these.
He's saving up to his 30s.
One competition a year I have in me. So
Nice. Nice. And he whipped your butt.
He whipped my butt on stage.
In,
Wow.
in front of singles of people.
Yeah, no.
Single.
For those of you listeners, that
There
don't
was a
know-
dog. There was a dog
The
there.
dog was there.
For those of you listeners that don't know, like Hero Style, you know, we drink on stage, and Joe and I like to drink a lot.
And
We're
it's,
regular.
and it's for charity, right?
Yeah, it's for
Yeah,
charity. We
yeah.
Right,
drink
right.
regularly for charity, and I'm a seasoned drinker, so to have Irish Sean Kearney, who's probably weighs a little less than me, you know,
Right.
I'm not heavy. neither is Sean.
Sean's about 75 pounds soaking wet.
Right.
Our audience
Probably.
can't see this right now, but he's 5'7",
But
about 75 pounds.
incredibly good looking.
A handsome,
true.
a handsome
And
75 pounds.
if I was gay, I would fuck him.
Oh.
Oh yeah, well I've seen
Yeah.
him. Sean has played a woman in a lot of our shows, and he looks good as a woman. I gotta admit.
He is good looking.
You know, Mike's played a lot of women in our shows,
Yeah,
too.
but he plays.
You know, you guys should do a two-woman show at some point.
Maybe we should
Yeah.
at the UCV. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
You should.
I would not be opposed to that at all.
Wow.
I welcome that invitation.
I like it. I like it. All right, good boy. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to read my column that I wrote this week. Where? At joedonatelli.com. That's where.
Yes.
Another shameless plug. And the guys are going to jump in with their thoughts. And, whenever you see a point of entry, I want to hear what you have to say about the topic.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
All right, very good. And if we can, I'm going to attempt to get through this. But let's see how far we can get.
We'll see.
It's like a reading room of people with ADD that can't go past 4 lines.
It's like Joe says,
Wait, how could the inspire you? It was just an article. It's not even.
well, the could be anything. The end could be anything.
That's true.
I'm already just looking at the picture behind you, and I've got so many ideas of things to say about the portrait.
Nice.
So.
Oh, we should mention we're in a house in Los Angeles.
City of Angels.
City
yes.
of Angels. Yeah, in a dimly lit room.
And I'm drinking some nice vodka. You can hear the.
You can't hear me.
My eyes melted.
There's no ice.
We could hear the silence. Yes.
It is an iceless house that we are in. Yes.
That sound you just heard was the sound of comedy dying.
Ooh, if we had crickets, I wish we had
Right,
crickets.
Mike, open the window so we can hear the crickets.
That's usually not an uncommon thing with me. Comedy dying.
Right, right. If
It
Mike
just seems to happen.
if Mike had a theme song, it would be crickets.
Yes,
You know?
it would be.
It would be. I think.
We call him Jiminy Cricket.
If I had the sound effect right now, I'd play a cricket.
Right. We'll edit it in post.
The crickets.
Yeah, maybe in
All right,
post. Yeah.
cool. All right, boys. I'm gonna kick this off. The
right.
column this week was called "Hitting the Crack Pipe: The War on Drugs is Being Fought in Your Toilet." All right. Have you ever walked into someone's bathroom and said, "Oh, if only this toilet bowl could talk. I bet it would have so many interesting things to say. Mr. Porcelain Bowl, what mysteries lurk within your depths? What secrets can the chlorine never wash away?" Me, I believe toilets should keep their secrets. It's just one of those credos I've come to live by. Here's another one. Never snatch a newspaper out of a rich man's hands in a police station. It's
True.
just good horse sense, Carlos.
True.
Carlos and I pissed on a police station once by accident.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We were drunk.
By accident?
Yeah, I mean,
it was by accident.
It was by accident. Yeah,
We're not that angry.
Yeah, we wouldn't just go and like piss on a police station or anything.
No.
No, it was one night. Carlos and I were up in Santa Barbara, and they, you know, the UC Santa Barbara is kind of a party school.
It's a very good party.
Yeah, I think it is the party
Yeah.
school.
It's
It's probably the party school.
Yes.
Yeah. They have a place called Isla Vista, and we were on Isla Vista drinking, and we were pretty drunk and walking back one night, and Carlos and I decided to take a leak, and you know, it's one of those moments like,
Wait, why would you blame me?
I'm not blaming you.
Well,
No,
Carlos had to take
Yeah,
a leak.
You got roped in.
for all those listeners, I had to take a leak.
My
just as
bladder
much.
is gay. Oh, I gotta go.
Wait, now, a gay bladder. come
I
on.
have an important question.
Well, yeah. Well, you're involved, right?
I have an important. Have
What?
you guys ever accidentally like set fire to a firehouse or anything like that?
No.
You never. Okay. You've never.
This was a very innocent.
I did
thing.
pet a pet in a pet store.
Okay. Well, that's good.
That-
You broke-
there's
you
nothing wrong about that, actually, Carlos.
Well,
I'm
excuse
saying
That is
you
quite
broke
allowed.
the law at a police station. That maybe like you went into a hospital and made people sicker at some point.
Look, nothing like that. This was very unintentional. I saw a very dark place, and when you're a guy, you can piss in the most unlikely places, right? So you
In
can
the
go into a
toilet?
dark place. If there's no toilet, you go against the wall. So we went
Yes.
against the wall. We walked out, and we realized it was actually a police station that we pissed on.
That's impressive.
Well, and then we were laughing about that for the next
Yeah, because we didn't get caught.
day.
Yeah.
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 And everybody who's listening, this is our first broadcast. Mike will tell that story 8 or 9 times in the next year.
probably.
Yes. So
Well, I take after my dad. He tends to repeat himself.
Especially with my bladder involved,
Yeah,
because I had to go.
yes, and each time we'll have a different,
I gotta go, man.
each time
I gotta
Carlos
go.
will look worse and worse in that story. All right. Okay, man. Not everyone shares my worldview. At Oregon State University, proud home of the flesh-gnawing whippoorwills.
Is that true?
No, it's not true.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a joke. I
Wait
put
a
it
second.
in.
You didn't click on the link
Yeah.
on the blog at joedonatelli.com.
Thank you. Thank you.
There was a link to what a flesh-gnawing whippoorwill is.
What is that? A plug within a plug?
Yeah,
Yeah.
A whippoorwill is like
What is a
it's a
whippoorwill?
bird that makes a sparrow look tough.
Really?
yes.
It's that gay.
It's a very small little bird.
angry
Yeah,
little bird.
Exactly. It's an angry little bird.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
home of the flesh-gnawing whippoorwill. A group of scientists are very excited about listening to your bathroom plumbing. According to an Associated Press story by Seth Borenstein, why'd you go,
Was that very Jewish?
Well, yeah, what's the guy's name?
Okay.
All right.
Seth.
Seth Borenstein.
I don't have nothing against Jews. I'm just saying it's a very Jew name.
Well, it is. Seth is a very Jewish name, and Borenstein is as well. Researchers collected a teaspoon of wastewater from wastewater plants in 10 American cities. The scientists analyzed the water for traces of drugs and announced their findings.
See, wait. There's something I got to bring up here about this, and it's,
Thank you for hitting that on a real high comedy note, by the way.
this is the 'cause
Jew
this
wrote
is the
this song.
crux of the article right here, and I think it says something about our society as a whole, and maybe this country, that we're so confident in what we have that we let our scientists go investigate poop water
Yes.
instead. And that's how I feel about like high definition televisions
Yes.
and things like that too, where I love technology. I'm a big technology guy.
Yeah.
But I feel like in, I don't know, a third world country, the brightest minds, they don't send a Philips to make TVs. They're like, hey, let's cure these diseases we
Right.
have. But here we're like, yep,
We're
they got to
cocky.
make them. They're going through poop water today.
Exactly.
Well, scientists in today's society, I think scientists could do anything. They could kill a person just dissect it and everything. Just do anything.
But don't you guys see an irony that, like, I mean, still, like, we can put a man on the moon, we can, you know, we can send a satellite like right through the rings of Saturn, but yet when you get your prostate checked, you still have to have a thumb stuck up your ass.
I completely agree with this, and I think it's just laziness on the part of these people. Like the scientists are going for the glitz and the glamour.
That's what the poop scientists should be working on, the thumb technology.
Exactly.
seriously.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's coming out of the same area, really.
It is.
Exactly.
Same
They just
view.
need to go up where it came from.
Exactly.
They're worried about the ends. They should be more focused on the means.
The process.
I think. Yeah, exactly. The process. They
process,
should fall in love with
yes.
the process.
Mike,
Yes.
I agree. Nobody should be in your ass.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just
Oh
think
my
it's
God!
ridiculous.
Can you
I mean,
imagine?
It's like, for God's
Just
sake,
look
that's
at if anybody takes a look at Mike, there's no way you want to clean his ass.
now hold on a second.
Wait, so they're not cleaning your ass though?
Oh, what?
What does your
No,
doctor do?
they're shoving
I thought they
back
were
up.
Oh,
Is your doctor like back there with like a cloth and
Well, if
Pledge?
if he's professional enough, he will be cleaning
I-
it
I
I
out.
would
can
like-
see my face in your asshole, Carlos.
I would like to go back to a statement.
Well.
If you've ever looked at Mike, you would never want to. What the hell is that supposed
no?
to mean?
Because some people you could tell they'd have.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
if we need to look
No,
at
definitely.
guys, you could say, okay, I saw that guy's ass, big deal. But if I saw your ass, that's a big deal.
Whose ass isn't it a big
I
deal
don't
to
have
see
an
for you,
ass.
Carlos?
Well, I don't have-
I neither do I.
I almost went out with a girl once. Okay, And she was
No, are you sure?
Show off.
Show off.
Show off.
We're all sitting around our D&D
Wow.
group talking, guys. I'd like you to know we have a 12-sided die right next to us.
Big talker.
no. Listen, my flat. I have a flat ass. Like I have no ass. All right.
Oh yeah.
And it actually saved me because this one girl that I wanted to go out with at this time, she was kind of nuts, and she didn't like me because I don't have an ass. And at the time, I was like, well, that's a really shitty thing. But now,
no pun intended.
now,
Oh, Jesus.
now I look at it and I'm like, my
Unnatural.
God, you know, thanks for me having a flat ass because I didn't.
Well, while we're on the
now it-
subject of bullshit justifications,
Right. No, you know what? Here's the thing. When I think of like what Mike's ass might look like, I think of like a cave with bats flying on it.
I know.
You mean with the Batmobile coming at it?
No Batmobile. Just like
okay.
a bunch of scary bats.
In
right,
case you guys
yes.
don't realize, I'm actually still living. You know, I'm here. I'm not like a corpse.
You-
know?
Well, you kind of
Introduce-
looking pale now.
You introduced the ass to the conversation.
No, if you look at the way Mike keeps his house up, I feel like Mike would have a very nicely groomed a-hole.
I don't.
Oh.
I do.
know.
I think he's one of those guys who takes a mirror and like takes care to groom.
Half an hour ago, Joe and I were just finding bugs everywhere.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Everywhere but his ass. So I could just imagine.
They were scared to go there.
Yes.
They were too scared to go
The
there.
nuts.
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on. It's just they're just bugs. You know, I mean, it's,
Yeah, they bug you. That's the problem. Okay, so these scientists or whatever are now. What are they testing with this?
What
poop
they're
water?
looking for is they're looking for which cities have certain drugs. So like a certain like they might go
like
to,
illegal drugs, right?
like illegal drugs. They tested for I think 15 different illegal drugs and looking to see which cities have which drugs. They can't tell who's doing the drugs. They can't tell how much of the drug is in the population.
well, what's the
but-
fucking point?
It's not really a science experiment, then, is it? It's
No,
more
it's
of just
not.
a broad.
it's a high school project. That's
I was
what
gonna
it is.
say
it's a federally
there's
funded high school
some
project.
serious flaws in this. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
First of all, what if just let's just say we're in Bakersfield, okay?
Yep.
And one night, just a bus full of meth addicts comes through and has to
Right.
take a leak.
They all go to the rest area.
They all go to the rest
Yeah,
area,
right.
and then they move a whole town over.
Right.
And they're just passing through. All of a sudden, this whole
like a
town
Hell's
of
Angels.
Bakersfield,
Yeah.
the lovely town that it is,
Oh, it's
is
lovely.
Is
lovely this time of year.
misrepresented.
Right.
Like now, all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch
Yeah,
of
you-
meth
you-
addicts, but there's yet no meth.
You know where the drugs are? Interstate 5.
Interstate.
For 400 miles.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
mean,
can
you know,
see that.
No, exactly.
what a flawed, ridiculous
what
piece
if
of shit.
They're literally taking a teaspoon of liquid. So what if that teaspoon was from like the one jerk from high school who did all the drugs? Like, oh my God, his whiz. Oh, we're screwed.
And one night, he just had a really
Yeah, he
bad
went
case
a
of the
bender,
shits and
yeah.
just
Right.
pissing all over the place.
Yeah.
It happens.
You know what ultimately this is going to do? This is going to create a paranoia much like communism. And you're going to have an influx of people pissing on their front lawns
Yeah,
because
people
they're
are-
going to be afraid to piss in the
exactly.
toilet.
No,
People
but
are gonna pee everywhere.
This is my thing: is that our war against communism, or what you will, was far more specific
Yeah.
to the fact that people could be scared. With this, I don't give a shit. Pardon, no pun intended.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care because
well, that's a good.
all it's going to mean is that I'm going to get to see Los Angeles County on the news on a list of terrible things one more time this year.
Well, this is-
after crime, after it's going to be and high drug in our shit.
This is my theory: is that when this list eventually comes out, like where the drugs are, people are gonna move to those cities. It'll be like Boulder, Colorado as
Shit.
opium. Oh,
I just don't think
man.
it's going to surprise anybody. It's
No,
going
it
to come
won't.
up and it's going to be the top five.
Berkeley, San
Oh, wow.
Francisco.
So-
like who else? In Berkeley, San Francisco, New York, L.A. It's gonna be
So what- how many-
Miami.
Hey, how many cities were tested?
10, and they won't
10.
say which ones. That's later in the
Why,
column.
how come? What would you think? Why wouldn't they say 10 cities? I mean, do you think it's bumblefuck Indiana?
It was
or,
it was
New
cities
York
ranging.
City?
It was cities ranging in population from 17,000 to 600,000. So
Well, then your ratio
Well,
is screwed too, right?
well-
I mean,
Well, yeah. The thing is, I mean, most of these towns, there's nothing to do. If it has 17,000 people,
yeah, you should be on drugs.
you should be on drugs.
you
there's
should
nothing
you
else
should
going on.
definitely
Because
be
either
doing
you're
it.
playing video games, bowling, or banging, or something.
Right.
Right.
That sounds like a wonderful life to me. I don't. Hold on a second. I need to
have
move to
you
a small
bowled
town.
and been high? Trust me, there's nothing better than that.
Wait, since when have you been? You're Argentinian. Argentinians don't like bowling.
Oh,
Wait,
you
but
have
they
to-
love
you're
getting high.
Well, they love getting high. But
Yeah.
one just follows the other naturally.
exactly.
Very racist. That actually is worse than what I said when I called the guy who wrote this thing a Jew.
Well, he is. That's not a bad.
Yeah, there's nothing offensive about that.
Yeah,
actually,
unless he's one of those Greek Borensteins.
Well, if the
How dare
KKK
you.
if the KKK ever hears this, they're gonna say Jew does not. That's not good.
yeah, I wouldn't worry about the KKK listening to our podcast.
Oh, okay.
you never know.
Well, yeah, exactly. All I know is that these towns. I mean, what would be a town?
Have you guys ever been to Baker?
I have been to
Yeah,
Baker.
everybody's been to Vegas.
That's-
because it's
Okay.
on its way to Vegas.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's on its way. It's a little town
Yep.
in Nevada, right?
It has the-
no, it's in California.
It has
Okay,
the big thermometer, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's all it
about all.
has.
I'm sorry. They also have every fast food restaurant.
Yes, in a
When-
2-block area.
When you stop
Do they
on the
have Pep?
Greyhound,
Yeah.
the Greyhound on the way to Vegas, which I would know from experience, stops in Baker to let off all
What-
those meth heads
what
to
collect-
go piss in the
Exactly.
toilet.
Wait, hold on.
Exactly.
What, Sean, tell me about the bus ride to Vegas. What collection of human detritus?
You took a bus.
I've
you
taken-
went. No way.
No. I've taken
Was
two
that a bet? Was that a
Greyhound
bet?
buses.
Did you lose a bet?
No, I've taken 2 Greyhound bus trips with my girlfriend. One to Vegas,
Oh, what's
one
that?
to Atlantic City.
Oh my.
Oh,
Yes.
a
You know
bus?
what?
How long was that bus? Wait, hold on. How long was that?
Vegas was 7 hours, I'd like
Yeah.
to say. I'd
7
say about,
hours.
with an hour in Baker because we
It-
needed a whole hour
Well,
in Baker.
it's lovely in the
off all the
spring.
methods.
There's a swap meet in the middle of Baker, and they have a kiosk, and I shit you not, it is the size of the room we were sitting in,
Wow.
filled with hunting knives. And when I say hunting knives, I don't mean just like a bunch of different, like wooden handled and metal handled. I'm talking elaborately designed $150 hunting knives with wolves and eagles etched onto them.
Really? Eagles,
Yes.
wolves and eagles. They're like a symbol of killing, right?
Yes, of death. Like that's the like you know how
What?
like when women get older, like
Yeah.
they collect things with strawberries or
You know-
ladybugs on them. Like
Yes.
when men in the country get older, they get things with wolves
and eagles.
Wolves
on
and
it, yeah.
eagles. Okay.
I
Exactly.
have a shirt with a wolf on it.
Yeah,
I don't wear it.
It's,
but-
it's one of Mike's 4 shirts.
No, but I've seen a woman with a butterfly tattooed on them.
yes.
Now, as you were saying, Sean.
So the bus trip to Vegas.
Show off.
To Vegas, the bus trip was rather uneventful. People in California seem to
Really?
keep to themselves. I'd say
Did you have a movie playing on the bus?
there were no movies.
Oh my gosh!
But the bus trip to Atlantic City, far more eventful. The movie took place a row in front of me, actually.
Really?
A man
Who died?
No, nobody died,
Oh,
but somebody
damn.
was escorted by 2 NYPD officers
Figures.
off of the bus.
Every bus.
Yeah.
That happened.
He was angry that a man had lowered his seat. And this man had a man one had a briefcase which was filled with.
Wait, man one, was he in front or was he in behind?
Man one was behind man two.
Man two.
Now man two wanted to move
Okay.
his seat back, which I believe is completely all right on
Yeah,
a bus.
once the bus is moving, it's technically okay.
This is right before the bus started
Ooh,
moving,
you're
like
getting
an
gray
inch
area.
before. But man one, who was sitting behind man two, well, he wanted to use his briefcase. He had some important business to do. His
Oh
briefcase
my
was
God.
filled with an issue of the New York Post and an apple.
This is like
Wait, and what?
This
What?
is like
An
a
apple.
Seinfeld.
That's a Seinfeld
Yes.
episode
With Kramer-
with
Apple?
the crackers.
Yes.
Kramer and
One
the
apple.
crackers.
With the
yeah.
crackers.
So it got to the point they yelled at each other back and forth, and
Oh,
it got to
no.
the point
Were they?
where
What nationality were they?
I didn't notice that, Carlos. I don't notice those things
Really?
sometimes.
I do. I bet you.
I
I bet you.
no,
it was
they were-
two white.
It was. They were
men.
two very older white men,
White
about
people.
60,
White
65.
people. For those who are listening, who are non-white, white people love to complain.
Well, New Yorkers in general, I believe, love to complain because
Yes.
as the bus driver was asking this young man this old man number one, who was a little
the
bit
bus
angry.
driver? What nationality was the bus driver?
I believe the bus driver may have been Jamaican from his accent.
think
I
black.
would just like to
knew.
point out Sean's incredible memory because these are things I would
Oh.
not remember.
Well,
riding on a
I'm
Greyhound.
making
That's why
this
you
up.
never served jury duty ever.
Riding on a Greyhound, I'd probably try to block all of this out.
If I was on the court case for murder, I would not have you as a character witness for me.
Riding on a Greyhound bus, mind you, it makes me never
Mike.
want to go to trial because I understand that the people who
Yes.
live around me
That's your peers.
They're not my peers,
Yeah,
not by a long shot.
Yeah.
But this man, they yelled back and forth for about 5 minutes, and it ended with man number 1 grabbing man number 2's chair and shoving it forward and holding it.
Wow.
At this point, the bus driver has come over and said, "You know what? Maybe you want to leave
Was he
the
like?
bus."
Was he like, hey man, no, but what you doing, man?
Did he come while the bus was in motion? Like he was like putting cruise control and he walked
Put on
out?
cruise control. We were just leaving. We were trying to leave the bus terminal. We've been waiting for about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh no, man.
And there had 2 NYPD officers had to walk on the bus. The man wouldn't leave until the NYPD officers came.
And wait, was there trouble? Wait, where did you take this bus? Where was the first point?
It was from Grand Central Station, I believe. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, Penn Station. I want to say Penn Station.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this was from L.A. to Atlanta.
No. This was from Penn Station, New York to Atlantic City.
That would the worst idea I've ever heard in my life would be a bus from LA.
I had a
really?
friend who did it.
City.
It's
Oh, really?
$15. It's like no money. The further you take a Greyhound
It
bus,
would
the
take
cheaper it
6
gets.
days. to
Yeah,
get
it
a
was. He
Greyhound
wanted
bus.
to. He stayed at
Really?
hostels across the U.S.
Well,
and
there's nothing
ended
wrong
up
with
in Canada.
hostels.
Did he hate himself?
He said that the worst part of the trip was the bus. People on the bus, everyone in New York, every single person on this bus had an opinion that they were yelling at these people, except me and my girlfriend, who were sitting back going, "If you guys keep on talking, we're never gonna leave."
No. Was he like? Was that the bus driver? Was that the Was that the bus driver who was saying that?
No, the bus driver was very calm and collected. Said, "Please leave the bus." The man said, "No, I'm not leaving." He's
But
like,
all
"I'm
the
going to
people-
get the police."
All the people from New
Everyone
York were
around.
arguing with each other.
Arguing, and they were
okay.
taking sides.
Alright.
It was like, "Well, he should just move up the chair." No, this is ridiculous. This
Right.
is just stupid. You know,
Right. The
bus-
everyone had it's like we sectioned off, and then we had a little game of volleyball, and the winner stayed on the bus, and the other.
Was the
Wait,
Jamaican the referee? Was
You
the
are
bus
very
driver-
focused on this.
He
Jamaican bus
must have
driver.
been here.
He is
Listen,
a
man,
side
you don't have to
character.
go out there.
I would like to point out too that according to Carlos, the bus driver was Jamaican for some reason.
No, I said he was.
Which is
That was
fine.
that
Okay.
piece of information. Yeah.
Yeah, these Italians, they can't keep their ears open to hear, right,
Oh.
Constantine?
All
right.
Now it's racial.
Yeah, you try being the
Racial.
engineer
That
at
now
the same
that
time.
surpasses the Argentine thing. That surpassed the Jew thing now from the beginning.
Don't.
But you know, your Jamaican accent almost sounded a little Indian at sometimes.
Well, they're kind of the same.
Like it was
place.
kind of confusing.
Most of it
I don't
sounded
think
like
it's the same
gibberish
thing.
to me.
No. The Jamaican goes, "Hey man, what you doing, man?"
Yeah.
And the Indian goes, "Hey, looky here, no, do.
Wait, no.
Wait,
Indian is-
looky here? Looky here.
Looky here.
I don't think in.
Oh no, have you known
Carlos,
any Indian?
most Indians are very erudite.
That's true.
Speak
But they
very
speak
eloquently.
they speak very.
No,
Listen to me.
You sound like Andy Kaufman doing
Okay.
Latka doing an impression right now.
No, look. Okay, now never. Okay, we got off topic.
Yeah, no shit.
No shit.
Okay,
the
go
point of
on.
this
You,
show.
Carlos, you didn't just take us on track. You dragged us on off topic. Like kicking
Well,
and screaming.
and that must have been nice. Now, okay, let me ask you this, Joe.
Yeah, all right.
You when you wrote this article, or when you heard about this story,
Yes.
when you were talking. Now, what is the best line in the article?
Oh,
Well,
that's
let's
a good
let
question.
Joe get to it.
Excellent.
That's a great.
That is
that's
a
a
good
great
question.
question. I had a couple best lines, which Carlos is handing me his
Well,
copy
oh
to say.
my
Yeah, that's the one.
Apparently Carlos had a
that's what
few.
I was going to say.
Yes.
The lead researcher is quoted as saying, "Wastewater facilities are wonderful places to understand what humans consume
Now that
and excrete." She put the words
no
Eloquent.
pun intended.
wastewater and wonderful right next to each other.
That is scary. That is very creepy.
It actually reminds me of the KCAL News 9. You know, here it's a local news in Los Angeles for those of you that don't know.
Beautiful anchor women, I might add.
Beautiful.
Best on local news.
Ooh.
But here
Yeah.
was one of the reports.
all
one
of
day.
them.
Here was one of the reports one day. I was eating lunch and I was listening to the report.
Where were you eating lunch at?
Wait, do we really need that prologue?
Well, I'm
What
just.
did that explain?
I was like, God, what was he
What-
eating?
What was he doing?
I was
You know.
microwaving some egg, and amazingly enough, it exploded.
Maybe it was a brown egg. Maybe it was a white egg.
White egg.
Actually, no. This was. I remember it was chicken. I was eating chicken this one day. It was years ago.
What?
Boneless?
Was it grilled?
good.
No, it was
Broiled?
boneless, huh?
Boneless.
No, it was. Actually, it was boneless. Yeah, it was boneless
Yeah,
chicken.
you know,
Let's
the
focus
boneless-
on that.
Okay.
Chicken is nature's.
Now, what do you? Okay.
Chicken.
Nature's
No, but listen, I was listening to
It's
this
the
report.
chicken of the land.
Oh,
This was
people
the-
hearing this, the people hearing this podcast must have blown their fucking heads off.
Well, no.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
No, wait, Mike, finish the story.
All right,
It's gonna be
Okay,
great.
fine.
So
fine.
the local news, okay, they said this was a story. They said, if you think you're dehydrated, you probably are. It means you need more water, and that was the story.
Wow.
And that's how they said it.
You know, I don't know what's more incredible, that the fact they reported it or that you repeated it.
Well, you have to repeat something like that. It's
think
like
the repeat was
one
good.
way to know that you're dehydrated is if you're thirsty. That was one of the symptoms.
I know what. I've been dehydrated. I've actually gone to the hospital twice.
Wait, were you in this bit? Were you on Did they interview you?
Yes, they were.
Local man forgets to drink water.
You sound like an expert.
Yes, I'm semi-retarded.
This is
Yes.
true. Carlos called me from the hospital.
That is true. I was at the hospital one time, and I was looking at and seeing how much of water we're doing about that, and oh my gosh, it was very hard. You know what sucked was that I had a fever.
The IV drip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the IV drip is that they put the IV drip. Shut up. And they put the IV drip in my hand, and I had to wait there for about an hour for the water just to seep, just to like.
If only you would have seen that report. See, you make fun of it, but if Carlos would have seen this,
Right.
It would have saved
him
my
behind.
life. It would have.
I
want to
see what the tagline was on the ad. It was like,
me
find
ask-
out what you can do to stop dehydration. Film at 11. You
Sean,
know?
let me ask you: if you
Yes.
get thirsty,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Well, I would say that drinking water is a wonderful way to understand.
Here's the teaser. Here's the teaser.
I like how wonderful
Maybe
and water were in the same sentence.
Here's the teaser for that. 2 parts of one element and 1 part of another element could help you stave
No,
off
I don't believe it.
dehydration. We'll tell you which elements those are at 6 o'clock.
Oh, I can't.
I don't know. It was
Don't change the channel.
Periodic table. You are a mystery.
I cannot change the channel on that one.
All right.
All right, but speaking of which, you know, when I was reading your blog,
Wait, well,
Wait, where would you find?
no,
Where would
I
you
was-
find this column?
if I was reading on JoeDonatelli.com,
Oh, JoeDonatelli.com.
let me spell Joe.
www.joedonatelli.com.
That's a good site. It spells JoeDonatelli.
That's pretty good.
.com.
that's great.
That's great,
awesome.
but you didn't
Thank
spell
you.
out com.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there might be people.
Well,
out there.
I would
Everyone
hope
knows that's the silent GH.
it's
Yeah.
dot
Yeah.
C
I can hear someone yell,
O M E.
"Holy shit! He spelled it out, but he didn't spell out the com." I don't know how to get there.
If I was reading this somewhat article,
Somewhat
article.
this article, excuse me.
What? Jeez,
Listen,
it's a masterpiece.
I was reading some. It's kind of weird. Where did you write this article on?
What? Where?
Yeah, like where did he post this?
I
article?
wrote- well, I
You
wrote-
wrote it on the website, but what was the?
he wrote this article with a gun to his head.
No, I wrote
in
this
a prison.
article on my laptop in my home.
But was it like because I have here like there's all these things on the side of it or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and
there's advertisements. Actually.
Oh.
This is one of the best parts.
Wow.
Is my
Right.
like where I post this on blogger.com.
Okay,
So I use
okay.
that and it actually has AdSense ads. And what AdSense does, and this is a Google program, is it has a robot that reads your columns.
Right.
And then it matches advertisements with the content of your columns.
Oh.
Carlos, why don't you?
Okay, I
'Cause
found
it's hilarious.
I found one that was extremely important.
I know which one it is.
Because okay. Casual sex.
That's what I think of when I think of Joe Donatelli.
if you could only imagine. It says casual sex is a great way to meet new people.
That's actually what that is. That's a quote from an old column.
That's an old column. Yeah,
Well,
I
no,
remember
no,
that
no,
column.
Well, it
what
sounds
co-
like an advertising line to me.
What-
Well, Carlos wants to buy whatever they're selling.
I was enthralled by this, but I
Go
didn't
ahead, read it,
care.
finish
okay,
reading, finish reading it.
okay. Let me repeat the first.
Finish
sentence,
reading it, 'cause I
love-
wrote it and I
That
like to
first
hear it.
sentence I love. It says casual sex is a great way to meet new people. Don't be fooled by people who tell you this is a mistake, which I've done. Okay, whatever. Try and sleep with those people,
Yes.
and that's basically the end of the quote. And it goes, "Guide to Finding Love."
Yeah, that was
That
from a
was
column
from-
I wrote.
That was
called
an
Finding
excellent
Love.
column, actually.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You know,
Yeah. If somebody tells you that you shouldn't sleep with somebody casually, try and sleep with that person.
that is amazing.
Thank you.
Who would tell you these days not to sleep with someone?
Oh, everybody.
I mean, what?
Oh,
Puritan?
well,
There's a lot of people.
you would anybody religious.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The point I was getting to was the AdSense ads on this.
Yes.
One of them is for a waterless toilet. they looked at my column and they said, it would
That
be
was
a good
amazing.
advertisement for this. Waterless toilet.
It's
That-
true, but you can't get a teaspoon out of a waterless toilet.
That's true. You could be a perfect drug head.
Yeah, so
with a
that
waterless
robot is more intelligent than we thought.
toilet. Yeah, he's way ahead of us.
Great robot.
How are the scientists going to deal with a waterless toilet?
They can't. They don't have the technology.
They're gonna grab everybody that's looking for the cure to AIDS and cancer
Oh,
and
boy.
put them on the toilet job because we gotta beat this. We gotta beat this waterless toilet.
Hey, one thing I
Oh.
got to ask you really quick.
Me.
Yeah, you, because you brought up the whole Jewish thing. Do you think Frankenstein was a collection of
Frankenstein. Well, Frankenstein was
German and
named after his creator, who
Right.
may have been partly Jewish.
Jewish? Well, the only reason I say it's Frankenstein, it's like Goldstein or
Well, only Hitler would know the difference. Because, Hitler would know if Frankenstein would be able to go in the camp or not, so it just depends.
Why are you
because
asking Carlos?
Well, because
I
he brought up
am,
the whole
I
Jewish
am
thing.
No,
Argentinian.
He seems to know a lot about races.
I am
That's true.
Argentinian.
because of his great interpretation
he
of
brought
the
up
way
the
they
whole Jewish
talk.
thing, and I was just thinking,
I'm
'cause
just
I
saying-
thought about that, like
I'm
the
just
name
saying-
Frankenstein, it sounds Jewish.
If it was like Frankenstein, which would be in, young Frankenstein.
well, some people say Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
But Frankenstein, I don't think is, well, it may be a Jewish name, but, he's got problems of his own, and, he's not going to be in it.
Well, he's a put together beast. I mean, yes,
Exactly.
of course.
He's
probably
got-
has
What are
problems.
you saying about the Jews?
He's got issues.
I'm just saying it might be a collection of Jews. I don't know. Like I was just asking, like why would you name it Frankenstein?
Well,
'cause
that's the
his
guy's
doctor's
last
name.
name.
Doctor's
Last
name.
name.
So
If
the
it was
doctor's name.
Constantini or Constantine, it would be the same
Once-
thing.
Once again, Carlos. Once again, Mike has shown us his stunning grasp of
Pop culture.
of pop
Yes.
culture. You.
He does not even recognize pop culture around the
I don't
20th
even-
century.
If
Yeah,
you
but-
mention something before the 1930s,
But-
he's fine.
Now
He
let me
is
ask
fine.
you: Is
He-
Mary Shelley really pop culture? I
Oh, she-
But
Yeah,
that's the joke, is that you're
Oh,
so bad
I-
with pop culture.
You're
You can't
so
even do.
you,
Yeah.
you offended everybody with that statement.
All right,
Mar-
hey, boys.
Oh,
Yes.
We've come to that point in the show. We're going to call the aftermath. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like how we didn't even get through your. I think
No,
we made-
I-
we got
I
through
think
two
we get it.
paragraphs.
We made it through
I get it
2.5 paragraphs. in
That's
my
damn-
column.
but that's
and
good.
Joe, how many paragraphs is your?
Mike, it's probably about 20.
let's do
Where could I read this article? Because I'd like to finish it. Where
Let
can I
me,
find it?
I'll spell it to you. I'll
Yeah,
spell
can you
it to
spell it?
Yeah.
It's Joe.
Dear
Uh-huh.
sweet God.
No, excuse me. Never forget that. www.joeDonatelli.com.
You completely screwed that
Excellent.
up because you didn't put a dot between Joe Donatelli.
It's not Joe Donatelli.
Oh, is it?
It's just Joe Donatelli.
Oh, really?
Well,
Now you screwed it up.
it up,
I guess
buddy.
I did.
Great.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
good.
you know why? 'Cause I
Constantine
was-
timed.
Don't say
Constantine.
because you thought of something. Don't say that.
It was.
No, don't
I
say
thought
that.
of your email.
Don't
No,
touch-
don't say that.
Don't touch your
I
chin.
don't want emails from people.
Don't
You're not
touch-
going to get email. They don't know if it's like .yahoo.com. They don't know if it's
They'll find it.
.hotmail.
I don't want emails from any readers. I don't want to hear what they have to say.
Hey, by the way, Joe, I love the picture on your.
Thank you. It's a very nice picture.
You look like you have.
You really do.
I got to change my email address.
Yeah.
I didn't
No,
say
now
what
I
the
have to change it.
motherfucker. I didn't say what the extension was. Do you realize how many
There's
email
only
extensions?
like 4.
And people only really use 2 of them, so
yeah.
you
Yeah, that's
got a
true.
50-50
Did
shot
you
of
not
hitting
notice
Joe.
my hand going like this, furiously waving you off there?
Like
I
what?
waved you off so hard.
So basically, you don't want anybody commenting on this show.
No, I believe there's a separate website on joedonatelli.com.
No, if you do want to email me, go just seriously. This is the email address: joedonatellicolumn@gmail.com.
Yeah, there you go.
And you
But
will.
if you want to send a personal email address, email to Joe.
No.
Yes, I will be sending many personal to you, Joe. And
Now I have to change my email address.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
I love-
especially
Joe.
after the first podcast that we're doing.
Joe.
It's going to be listened by millions.
It is.
Millions.
It's gonna live on cyberspace forever. Somebody's gonna find
millions
it.
of bugs will be.
Somebody's gonna find. All right, boys, let's go around the
Yes,
table. We're
yes,
doing the
yes.
aftermath.
Aftermath.
We're doing the aftermath. Everybody, sum up with your final wisdom. We'll start with Michael. I should give away his email address right now, just to
Yeah,
even things
I
out.
think you should.
What's my-
Fine, go ahead. Give out my social
No,
security
I'm
number.
not gonna.
Famous
For
God's
God's
sake.
famous last words.
I'm a good guy.
How paranoid should we be?
Unlike you, I'm a good guy. Go ahead and give your final wisdom.
All right. Due to this whole thing about the government like getting into your sewer system, it's going to lead to a really smelly town because
no.
paranoia is a bad thing these days, and people are not going to use their toilets anymore because they're going to be too afraid that if they take a piss and they did a little drugs the night before, they're going to go outside, they're going to piss, it's going to be like dogs pissing on a fire hydrant.
Mike's final wisdom is people will stop going to the bathroom.
Yes.
Okay, good.
They won't stop. They'll just piss outside of the realm of the bathroom.
That was clearly what you said. They'll stop going to the bathroom. They'll still do their business.
They'll still do their business.
Right.
Yeah, because if you stop going to the bathroom, that would be death, and all of society would probably die.
Okay, Mike. Very good wisdom.
Well,
Carlos?
I still my wisdom would be, I think, but this might be a problem, but as well, I think that maybe porta potties might be a big problem. No, not a problem.
Big opportunity.
A big solution. Those anti-gums. The only problem I see with that is that when it's in there, I mean, when they take it out, they can still test it, right?
Well, it's got that blue stuff in it.
Right.
Maybe. All right, so Carlos says if you have money invested in anti-gumps.
Gumps.
And you may or you may have to bury it.
But they can still test
maybe
it.
bury it.
They can still test it.
They probably could. But Carlos is saying it won't be
not if they bury it.
Won't be in the city treatment. Very good. Sean, your final wisdom.
I think it may seem like a good idea at the time. It's certainly cheaper than a plane flight, but do not take a Greyhound bus anywhere. It's one thing to go to the circus. It's another thing to play in the lion's cage.
I'd like to add one last thing. For all those listeners out there, if you're planning on taking a Greyhound, don't end up in the Greyhound station in downtown LA. Because it's
or in
bad.
Hollywood.
Well, Mike, there is no such thing as a good Greyhound station.
That's true.
Nobody's ever walked out of a Greyhound station and go, you know what?
Wow.
I smell and feel refreshed.
There has to be a good Greyhound station in like Amish country, I'm sure.
Well, not anymore since that Sleepy Town's been fucked up already.
I doubt that highly.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, gentlemen, I've appreciated hearing your thoughts.
And where can they reach us at? Actually, you could probably reach me at MySpace, Hero Style.
Oh yes, I'm going to get to that. So here we go. I'm going to thank everybody who's here today. I'm going to thank Mike Costantini, Carlos Hyman,
thank you,
Sean Kearney. I want to thank my brothers Tom and Dan who helped develop the podcast. I appreciate that.
Probably listening right now.
People who want to read the column, you know where to go. We've already mentioned the website 9,000
JoeDonatelli.com.
Yep. And if you want to write,
Joe
Donatelli column at gmail.com to write. And if you want to check us out on MySpace, myspace.com// Hero Style and / Pangea, Pangea. This has been the Virgin broadcast. I think it went well, gentlemen.
It's good to be here.
I'm going to hear from somebody, probably.
All right.
Hey, controversy is the best thing.
That's right.
Okay. If you're famous, maybe.
Carlos will be looking for new jobs.
Probably.
If anybody has a lead.
Probably.
So, all right. Thank you. We'll be back next week, and be sure to check out the column. Thanks a lot.
That's all for this episode of The Second Column. For more information, go to joedonatelli.com.